Right, it's the next morning after my kind of moany night last night. Sorry about that. Anyway, this is all done. It's all screwed in now. Drilled the hole around that gas pipe, which is basically just going to sit there until, or if we ever want it. It's all screwed in and down. So what I can start doing, I kind of got ahead of myself way back when I started bringing the stuff in. I've actually glued and screwed this one down, which is fine. It's fine where it is. I'm going to move this board off the top. I'm going to set up a laser level in line with the edge of this board that runs the whole way down so I can see, because I haven't got a chalk line which is any good. This floor's quite dusty, which is a bit of a pain. It basically, a laser is going to make it much easier for me to follow. And then any cuts that I need to make, I'll make on this side to trim it to get this line. This will kind of be my crown row, as it were. I know that's not really what it is, but that's kind of the way to think of it, that I can then work off, you know, and that way everything will stay straight and neat and even. Right, I'm just going to sweep up, clean up, all that good stuff, make this nice and clean, and then I can start gluing and screwing the underfloor heating boards down. So I've got this laser level set up. This is what I was explaining in a previous video, or in a different video, about, you know, being in broad daylight. It's very difficult to see. I've got this master finder here, which kind of acts like Cyclops glasses and picks up the thing. I don't have the glasses that you can wear, but I do have this, and it allows me to see whether or not this is, you know, you can see the laser nice and clearly there. I think if I had a green one, it would be slightly more visible apparently in daylight versus red, which is fine, but I don't have a green one, so that's that. Anyway, I've set this up and it is right on the edge. It's touching the edge the whole way along here. Don't even know if you can see that, to be honest, but it is. So yes, that's nice and level and it's touching the whole way along. And what I'm going to do is I'm then going to use this to help me find the edge further down, because it does pick it up over the distance like this. Now that's a bit easier. You can see there rather than there. That's harder to see. So the backing on this one allows you to see that it's on the edge the whole way along like that. And I'm going to use this to make sure that I'm in line, the edges, all of these edges of the board, just for this first row, make sure that they're all at the same point. And then if I need to trim any off this end to move it this way, then I will. If I need to bring it out this way, then I will. That's fine. So I'm going to stick you on a time lapse because it's just going to be easier, I think. Okay, you may have heard me in other videos saying things like, oh, I'm not going to agonize over that. I do have a tendency to overthink things. Well, I did end up filling that in just because I had a piece that fitted perfectly without needing to be cut down. Also, I've spent a long time, as you may have seen on that first time lapse, getting this dialed in as near as perfect as I can. And I'm going to do the same again on this little last section here. I have learnt from painful experience that if you get the first row right, you make your life easier for all of the rest of them. Don't know if that's a lesson for life, little metaphor there, who knows. But by getting this spot on, or as close to spot on as you can, working with, you know, engineered or natural materials or whatever, when it's not, you know, a custom made piece, getting this nice and tight along here, this seam here and this seam here is super important. So I glued and screwed that one. That's fine. That's kind of not too much of an issue. That one I left floating. This one I'm going to leave floating, and this one I'm going to get installed. Once I have got those dialed in as tight and as kind of snug as I need them to, that's when I will glue and screw. I'll sweep out, hoover out, and I'll glue and screw them down. And then it should be, he says, a doddle after that. That's the hope and the plan anyway. But this is now really nice and tight. There's a really nice tight type bead across here. That's about as good as I'm going to get it. These line up nicely. You know, they've got a little bit of play, a little bit of kind of give and take. So that's good. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to get it any better. It's nice and straight down the line. I don't know if the camera can pick up the laser. Yeah, it can. Anyway, it's on. I'm happy. Next one to do, and then hopefully the rest will go down easily. Right, I am happy. This is straight and neat, very nice. I literally can't feel that when I shut my eyes. Cannot feel that gap there. I've left an expansion gap here, because you're meant to. Bit of an expansion gap there, which is good. Yeah, I've left the expansion gap pretty much everywhere actually, by carefully overcutting it. So now that this first row is good, I'm basically in a position to start gluing and screwing these and then laying down the rest. Right, we're slowly getting there. Got full width board and then mincy little channel bit to do just after that on this side, and obviously on this side. Couple of points. We're a few weeks after I have posted the video about Steve tiling the roof and doing the what's it called? The flashing kits. It's the video that's possibly attracted the most nasty comments I've had on any video I've posted. So thanks for that, guys. Really, really appreciate that. But look at this. Not a single leak. Not a single drip. Can you hear that? That's the sound of nothing. And we've had about a foot of rain in the last 2 or 3 months since Christmas. Nothing's come in. Nothing's come through. Ground's bone dry. Odd that. Anyway, back to the flooring. Right, I wanted to show you this. I'm obviously connecting up the floor, and I'm leaving kind of air gap or expansion gap, whatever you want to call it. This one here is going to be really complicated, and I'm going to film it to show you, because It's either going to go really well and I'll look like a hero, or I'm going to make a whole load of mistakes and it will go wrong and I'll garner a whole load of criticism for it. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and keep this as one board that runs all the way here right up through, but it's quite long, obviously, as you can see. This one board is going to span all the way up to there. So I need to try and get it to tongue and groove in this way and in this way. I need to get it around that wall and I need to get it over that water pipe. I don't even know if it's possible, to be honest. As you can see, I haven't done anything. So if this is in the video, which it should be, probably will be, you will see what I've done. Right, that was 20 minutes of work into however long that time lapse was. I have to say, I am dead chuffed with that. It's come out really nice and neat, nice and tight on the joint there, perfectly in line. This I've cut short because it was fouling on that. We're actually going to be cutting this in line with here. I haven't decided exactly how far. We're going to be OSBing right through into here when it's not full of stuff. And we're going to be connecting up a gas pipe there because we're going to have a fireplace, a gas fire in there. So I'm leaving that as it is for now, and I just kind of ran all the boards. I didn't bother cutting them off, so that's why those boards are like that. This will actually get cut in line with that wall there because we're going to have carpet in here and underfloor heating with luxury vinyl tile on this side. So that's fine. That was fun. That was like a little puzzle. Look at this. I have to say I'm really, really proud of myself and pleased with how neat that is. Good bit of space around there. And I didn't hit the pipe. That is glue. That's not water. That's the polyurethane glue. So my fingers will be black. That's great. I'm really pleased with that. If you want to post something negative in the comments, go for it. I'm big enough. I can handle it. But if you're a DIYer, which is where this channel is aimed at, I hope you found that helpful. It is possible to kind of get it. It's also another reason why, I mean, you can orient these boards really kind of however you want them as long as you're consistent with it. But I often find that having the tongue sticking out this way is easier because you can literally just slide the board up and it holds in there. If you have it the other way around, you kind of almost have to clip the floor in like that and you have to get it in an angle, which makes it a lot harder to do. But that's just my experience. In this instance here, you know, this is going to be quite easy for me because, you know, I'll feed the cables through and I'll literally just kind of place the thing down and it will place on top because the groove is lapped in such a way that there's only a small amount that goes under like this and it's quite a big amount that laps on top there. So that's just my experience. That's what I have found from laying quite a few floors now. If you've got a different way, let me know. If you've got a better way, let me know. I'm always up for learning. This whole channel is about learning for myself and for other people. So now I can do a nice long board up to here. I'll probably have to do a little filler bit there, I reckon, but that'll be easy enough. And then I'm into the old kitchen here. That'll go quickly. To be fair, this was like 20 minutes of my lunch break because it's daylight and my head's a bit fresh. I'm pretty wiped out in the evenings, to be honest, so I'm kind of not really doing complex, deep thinking work. Like I had to spend a bit of time thinking about that. I don't really have the headspace to do that in the evenings, whereas something like this, where I'm just laying it out and then cutting it, it's a lot easier to do. So I'm going to head back up to the desk now. I'm going to leave that. That's fine. I'll leave that, and then I'll pick this up a little bit later on today. That is the end of this little section of flooring. I'm just going to trim this off. I left it long because I wasn't sure exactly where I wanted to end it. We've now decided where it is going to be, so I've cut that down. Got to do a little bit in there. I'm not doing that now. A little bit of packed out OSB, a little bit of chipboard. That'll be much easier for me to do once I've put the insulation. You know, Nick's back tomorrow to fix that. Insulation will go in here and in here, OSB, and then I can figure all that a lot easier with one board and all the rest of it. So there's no major rush to get that down right this second. That's the end of that section. Once we have finished in here, this is all in a different video. Got a few more bits to do in here. That insulation can go down, OSB, and then the chipboard down in here, and then we're going to be ready to run the actual pipe work.